You may have heard people talk about auras, as if they were just colors floating around the body. But your aura is not a color. It's a blueprint. A living, breathing, multi-layered field of consciousness that mirrors your physical health, your emotions, your hidden strengths, even your spiritual purpose. And right now, it's speaking. Beneath everything you've been taught, there are 7 sacred layers pulsing just outside your skin. Layers that hold the truth of who you really are. Most people will never look past the surface. But this message reached you for a reason. Because part of you remembers. And now, it's time to remember deeper. This is where your aura begins. The closest layer to your skin, hugging your body like a second skin made of light. Known as the Etheric Layer, it mirrors the structure of your physical form. Your bones, muscles, cells all have a subtle twin here, made of energy. If your body is tired, this layer dims. If you're vital and strong, it glows red hot with life. Every ache, every illness, every movement ripples through it like waves through water. But this layer is more than just a reflection. It's your foundation. It's the reason people can sense your physical presence before you speak. A handshake, a hug, even standing near someone in silence, all of that is etheric language. Most people never realize how deeply others feel them on this level. When this layer is torn or weak, you feel ungrounded, dizzy, disconnected. You may sleep, but wake up just as exhausted. You may eat, but feel unsatisfied. Healing this layer doesn't start with medicine. It starts with awareness, with breath, with reconnecting to your body, not as a burden, but as a sacred instrument of experience. The Etheric Layer teaches this, that your body is not a shell. It's a bridge, the first threshold between spirit and matter. And if you listen closely, it will show you exactly where your energy is leaking and how to call it back. Drifting just beyond the edge of your skin is a current of light that carries the full weight of your feelings. This is the emotional layer, a fluid, ever-shifting band of energy that responds not to your body, but to your heart. It has no fixed shape. It rises, contracts, vibrates, or even disappears entirely depending on your internal tides. This is where joy blooms and sorrow echoes. When you're feeling light, playful, or inspired, this layer expands like a warm mist, often tinged with soft pinks or vibrant oranges. But in grief or anger, it becomes jagged, pulsing in erratic bursts or dimming into shadow. Even when you try to hold it in, to smile through discomfort or swallow what you feel, this layer doesn't lie. It broadcasts the truth. And while you may think your emotions are yours alone, this layer weaves them into the space around you. Enter a room and you can feel when it's heavy or charged or somehow off. That's not intuition, that's your emotional field brushing against another. Empaths live on this edge, absorbing, reflecting, feeling not just their own emotions, but the residue of everyone else's. Without realizing it, many people are carrying the grief of their parents, the anxiety of a partner, the silent sadness of someone they once loved. But the emotional layer is not your enemy. In its purest state, it's a gift. It deepens connection, unlocks intuition, and allows energy to flow. Suppressing it doesn't protect you, it disrupts the system. Over time, that disruption can trickle into your mental layer, your physical body, your sleep. Like a lake ignored too long, this field stagnates when unattended. To heal it, you don't need to force happiness. You need to create movement, expression. Let yourself cry without judgment. Sing when you don't know what to say. Speak the truth even if your voice trembles. These aren't just emotional acts. They are energetic ones. They release blockages. They clear the fog. And in return, the emotional layer becomes clear again, fluid again, radiant again. This layer reminds you, your feelings are not weaknesses. They are instruments. They tune the soul to life. but they must be played, not silenced. Beyond emotion lies architecture. Invisible, precise, constant. This is the third layer of your aura, the mental field. Not just your thoughts, but the energetic structures they build. This layer holds your beliefs, your internal narratives, your expectations of the world and of yourself. And just like buildings, some of those structures are elegant. Others are crumbling. The mental layer surrounds you like scaffolding made of light. And whether you're aware of it or not, you live inside the world it projects. Here's the paradox. Your thoughts shape this field, but this field also shapes your thoughts. An anxious mental aura buzzes erratically, emitting flickers of yellow or dull gray, sometimes even metallic distortion. It tightens around the head, compresses the chest, sharpens your voice. Not because you're in danger, but because your architecture assumes you are. On the other hand, a balanced mental aura expands with clarity. It's bright, precise, focused. It doesn't mean you have no doubt. It means you're not ruled by it. This layer governs more than intellect. It governs meaning. The stories you repeat, the words you use, the assumptions you make about what's possible for you. If you believe the world is harsh and unsafe, your mental layer will narrow to reflect that belief. It becomes harder to see options, harder to receive support. Not because it's not there, but because your aura filters it out. Unlike the emotional layer, which shifts with the tides, the mental field resists change. It seeks stability, even in dysfunction. That's why limiting beliefs feel so real. The mind would rather protect its blueprint than admit it was drawn in fear. But every thought you repeat reinforces a groove in this layer. And over time, grooves become walls. The beauty of this layer is that it can be redesigned. Not with forced positivity, but with intention. Rewriting belief doesn't begin in the head. It begins in the field. Speak a new truth aloud, even before you fully believe it. Move your body in ways that contradict old narratives. Engage in practices that interrupt the loops. With time, the field reshapes. And with it, the outer layers begin to shift too. The mental layer is your inner architect. But it doesn't have to keep building from old blueprints. You are allowed to imagine new structures and live in them. At the midpoint of your aura, where the inner world ends and the outer world begins, there's a soft, expansive field, often glowing in shades of emerald, rose, or turquoise. This is the astral layer. It is the part of your energy that reaches out to others, not by speaking or thinking, but by resonance. If the emotional layer reflects how you feel, and the mental layer reflects what you believe, the astral layer reflects who you let in. It is the energetic bridge of relationships, love, trust, and intimacy. This is where bonds form, where loyalty anchors, where heartbreak leaves its fingerprints. You can feel it in a hug that lingers, in the peace you feel beside someone without a word, and the strange heaviness after a toxic interaction. These sensations don't arise from your mind or heart. They arise from the blending or clashing of astral fields. When two people connect deeply, their astral layers begin to overlap. They may finish each other's sentences, feel each other's moods, or sense one another's presence even from afar. But there's another side to this connection. Because the astral layer is porous, it remembers. It records every energetic exchange like imprints on sand. People you've long stopped talking to may still be entangled in your field. Moments of deep intimacy or deep betrayal can remain embedded here for years. Sometimes the fatigue you carry isn't yours. Sometimes the ache you feel in crowds or when you wake up is the residue of unfiltered connection. The astral layer teaches one of the most important spiritual lessons. Love is not just a feeling. It is an energy exchange. And like any exchange, it requires clarity, boundaries, and intention. Without them, This layer becomes tangled, not broken, but confused. Healing it isn't about withdrawing. It's about becoming conscious of your openness. Learning to sense when your energy is leaking into someone else's life or when theirs is lingering in yours. Practices like breathwork, heart-centered meditation, gentle release rituals, and even forgiveness are not just emotional acts. They clear the astral layer. They dissolve old cords. They make room for love that nourishes instead of drains. And they help you feel the full truth of this layer, that real connection never depletes. It expands you. It harmonizes you. The astral layer is your heart's reach into the world and the world's reach into you. But you are the gatekeeper. Choose with care who enters your field, and with even more care, who stays. Most people live their entire lives projecting thoughts, feelings, and identities without ever realizing something deeper is shaping them, silently, invisibly, beneath the surface. That something is the Etheric Template. It is the fifth layer of your aura, and it holds the energetic mold of how your body expresses itself in this world. Not what you feel, not what you think, but how you speak, move, and manifest. Unlike the earlier layers, which are fluid and responsive, the Etheric Template is structural. It's like the energetic skeleton of your soul's voice. Every time you speak your truth or suppress it, this layer reacts. Every time you imagine a possibility, visualize a future, or name a desire out loud, this layer adjusts. It doesn't care whether you say something beautiful or destructive. It listens. It remembers. It records. The throat chakra fuels this field, but it goes far beyond literal speech. The Etheric Template governs how aligned your actions are with your inner truth. It holds your tone, your timing, your rhythm, your ability to make an inner reality real. When it's strong, you feel articulate, confident, and clear. You speak with impact. You move with timing. You create with ease. When it's fractured or imbalanced, you may feel silenced, scattered, out of sync, like your ideas can't land or your voice doesn't reach. But here is the hidden truth. Many blockages in this field don't originate with you. They come from patterns you absorbed. Being told to stay quiet, being shamed for expressing yourself, being praised for performing instead of being. These patterns distort the blueprint, and over time, you begin to hesitate. Not just with words, but with presence. To heal the Etheric Template is to remember your right to exist as you are, without translation. It means honoring what wants to come through you, even before it's polished. Singing without judging your voice. Writing without editing your soul. Speaking before you shrink. Expression is not decoration. It is a sacred act of alignment. This layer teaches you that manifestation doesn't begin with action. It begins with coherence. When your energy field and your physical world say the same thing, reality bends. Not because you forced it, but because you spoke it into form. As the outer layers of your aura begin to thin, a new kind of energy emerges, one that doesn't feel dense, emotional, or structural, but light-filled, luminous, expansive. This is the celestial body, the sixth layer of the aura. It holds your capacity for intuition, spiritual insight, and direct experience of the invisible. While the earlier layers help you function as a human, this one helps you remember you are more than human. Here, imagination becomes a language. Visions flash behind closed eyes. Dreams carry messages that seem too precise to be random. It's the reason you think of someone right before they call. It's why your body tenses a moment before something happens. This field receives whispers from the subtle, not through logic or words, but through frequency. When the celestial layer is vibrant, people often describe a heightened sense of meaning, connection, and clarity. They feel guided, not by external signs, but by an inner knowing that can't be explained, only followed. Indigo and violet are common colors in this layer, shimmering softly or pulsing in waves around the head. It is the intuitive field of poets, mystics, and anyone who sees beyond surface patterns. But this layer can also become distorted. Too much celestial input without grounding can lead to overwhelm, disassociation, or a kind of spiritual escapism, chasing signs without integrating them. Some get lost here, believing every vision is truth, every impulse is guidance. The key isn't to deny these impressions, it's to develop discernment. To ask, is this a reflection of wisdom? Or is it a projection of my fear dressed in mystical clothes? To care for this layer is to create silence, not just quiet, spaciousness, time without stimulus, space without agenda. Practices like meditation, deep rest, time in nature, and sacred stillness cleanse this field and refine it. They help you tell the difference between a passing thought and a true download. The celestial body reminds you, you are not just a receiver of insight, you are also a filter. The clarity of your aura determines the clarity of your intuition. Purify your signal, and the universe will speak through it. Loudly, lovingly, clearly. Encircling all the layers that came before is a field so subtle, so luminous, that many never feel it, but it's always there. This is the Ketheric Template, also known as the causal body. It is the seventh and final layer of your aura, and it contains the memory of your soul across lifetimes. It is not shaped by thoughts, feelings, or even visions. It is shaped by truth, the unchanging kind. This is where all the threads converge. The blueprint of your higher self, the record of your evolution, the reason you came here. If the previous layers shift and swirl with experience, this one is steady. It doesn't react, it witnesses. From here, your soul observes your life like an artist stepping back from the canvas. Not to judge, but to understand the whole. When this layer is active and strong, people often describe a sense of profound peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because something deeper is untouched. This is the field of presence, of quiet certainty, of divinity remembered, if only for a moment. The colors here are white and gold, pure light, sometimes appearing as sparks, rays, or a halo above the head. But this field isn't always radiant. For many, the Ketheric Template is thin, pale, or fragmented, not from failure, but from forgetting. The more we identify only with the physical or emotional self, the more distant this divine layer feels. But the truth is, it's never lost, only veiled. And with spiritual practice, devotion, and humility, the light returns. Not in a flash, but like dawn breaking over years of darkness. To nourish this layer is to live in alignment with your deepest values, to embody what is sacred to you, to recognize when your actions match the soul and when they don't. You don't need to become a monk or master. You just need to return to the spark inside you that has always known. You are not from this world, but you chose to be here. The Ketheric Template is the song beneath all your noise. The original frequency, the divine hum. When it is intact, it doesn't just protect your aura, it blesses it. Every layer below begins to glow in response. This is your true center, and in that stillness, there is everything. You've just traveled through 7 layers of yourself, 7 frequencies of light that together form the shape of your presence in this world. But this knowledge isn't meant to be stored, it's meant to be lived. Your aura isn't a concept, it's a living mirror, shifting with every breath, every choice, every vibration you carry into a room. Some days, it will expand and shimmer. Other days, it will dim and withdraw. That's not failure, that's being alive. The key is awareness, to feel when your energy is leaking, to know when your thoughts are constructing clarity or confusion, to sense when your heart is reaching too far or locking itself closed. Each layer has given you something: grounding, emotion, perception. connection, expression, insight, and truth. But their purpose isn't separation, it's integration. Wholeness doesn't mean perfection. It means remembering what's already within you. You were never just a body, never just a mind, never just emotion or spirit. You are all of it, layered in light, moving through this world like a silent sun. Now you've seen the architecture of your aura, but the real power lies in learning to live from it, to speak from it, love from it, protect it, and trust it. So take this with you. Breathe softer, walk brighter, and listen closer to the quiet pulse inside you that still remembers the light you came from. And if this transmission stirred something in you, let it echo. Leave a comment below and share what you felt. And if you want to keep exploring the unseen, the forgotten, and the sacred, subscribe. The Codex is just beginning.